So, someone asked me, so I told you guys to ask me questions, and someone did ask me a question. They asked if I am still in China. Yes, I am still in China. I live in China. This is what I've been up to. I still live here. It's been since 2015 that I've been living in China. And we're still here, guys. But yesterday we left off in the story time. I'm going to change these titles to story times because clearly there are tons of stories that we're going to be talking about. And feel free to ask me more questions if you want to know anything with regard or anything that you want clarified in any of the stories that I'm telling. Let's see. So we left off where I got the job and I'm supposed to head off to China, and my husband at the time, he got a scholarship to do his PhD to move to China. So that's how I ended up in China. And then I also talked about why you should not get a spousal visa when you come to China. Maybe any country, don't get a spousal visa, get a work visa so you could work and make some money too. Because you never know what can pop off. Unfortunately for me, I ended up filing for divorce. So, um, luckily I was working, luckily I had a job, luckily I had income to take care of myself. So really and truly, I didn't have to think too, I mean, I did have to think long and hard about getting divorced. Don't get me wrong. That took a lot of thinking and a lot of deciding. It wasn't a very easy process or something easy to decide on. Uh, but the financial part I didn't have to worry about, because I knew I was taking able to take care of myself at least. Now, if I had come to China on a spousal visa, not having any income, having to rely on his stipend of 400 USD, really and truly, what kind of life that would have been? Who in their right mind? I feel like this is not straight, but it's okay. I'm okay there. Right. So, what are we going to talk about now? So, I was going through my old, very old messages of when I first was looking for a job in China. Yo, I was throwing out my email everywhere. I was getting emails from so many different people. This is 2015. I had gone onto Dave's ESL Cafe. That was the place to go find a job. Uh, Without the internet, I don't know how I would have been able to find a job in China. So let me talk, maybe I could talk about the process of finding a job. I could also tell you guys what was the contract on. Maybe I do that for another video. I could talk you through what my first contract was, and I will even tell you how much my first contract was. I don't make anything near that now. It's crazy. It's I'm fine now. But what I was making when I was first entering China, I do not suggest that now. One, the cost of living is a little bit more expensive. Not a little bit, it's very much more expensive, especially since the panorama in 2019. I call it the panorama because I don't want my videos to get flagged, right? So just letting you all know. But you'll know what I'm talking about. That C thing, right? So yeah, I basically was sending out to forums. I was getting desperate because at this point in time, I was running out of time. I think I actually, when I was going through the emails, I signed my contract very late, like maybe in the end of July, August, somewhere. We were still trying to finalize the contract. I was asking so many questions. I was like, send me your business license, send me your license number. And I only know your company registration number. I only knew what to ask for because I was in all these forums and people were like, yeah, don't fall for scams and stuff. Bruh. I was giving them hell with the amount of questions I had. I was like, how many employees you have? How many foreign staff? I was like drilling them. You know what's interesting though? Because of how I was with that first school, every other school after that, I was ready with the questions. I knew what to ask, who to talk to, what questions to bring to them. I knew how to vet them. I used to be like the first school. they provided a not a new apartment, but they said a well furnished apartment. And I was like, no, send me pictures. I need to see it, bruh. I was going in on them. I know that woman was probably fed up of me. She probably was like, bruh, do we want her? But anyways, so I eventually, to get a job, I was getting so desperate because all the schools were turning me down because one, I was so called not one of the big seven. They call them the big seven as in okay, maybe it's not seven, maybe it's whatever. You had to be from America. You had to have American passport, a British passport. I think South Africa was on the list back then. New Zealand, Australia. There are a few more. I think there are two more. But basically, if you were, or Canada is one. If you did not have a passport from one of these countries, y'all don't understand how they were. I want to use the word R, the R word, It starts with R, ends with T, but I want to watch my words on these lives. Or they will say, we want someone of a certain complexion to be teachers. These job ads, this is what the job ads said. We want a white person, So you had to be very specific. You have to be so they already eliminating me because I'm not paper colored. I'm not paper colored, like I'm not this color, So I couldn't get a job with any school that was saying that. So once they said that, I was like, next. So what I tried to do, I had to get an app called WeChat. And how did I get onto this girl? I don't know how, but there was a Trinidadian girl. Her name was Risa. I haven't spoken to her in a long time. And because of her, I got my first job. She put me on to a recruiter who helped me, I think because the recruiter had hired her, she knew that that person would not have discriminated against who they would have chosen next, right? So some recruiters were open-minded and some would tell you straight up, the school want from the big seven countries, or they want from a native English speaking country, even though where I'm from, Trinidad and Tobago, is a native English speaking country. They don't want to hear it. They'll be like, where that country from? We don't know. They don't want to listen to it. And I'll be like, no, I have to convince them. Trinidad and Tobago is on the list of countries. So I had to pull up lists. Man, I was going hell and high water doing research to find proof that Trinidad is on the list of countries that's English speaking, because some of them are so tunnel visioned with regard to only having you if you're from these big seven countries. So anyways, eventually I got into this recruiter. Her name was Mandy. She got me an interview. I had 2 interviews and eventually I got the job. It was really easy with her. The interview process was actually quite easy. And one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to interview really well. I'm pretty good at interviews and I nailed it, got the job. And then we had to start the paperwork and the process. So actually in the next video, I'm going to show you guys what my contract looked like. And I'm not going to show you the actual thing, but I will read it out for you and you will hear what the offer looked like. My first offer in China. That would be crazy. That will be tomorrow's video. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. Drop me questions, drop me likes. You guys are sending your thumbs up on these videos. I'm enjoying posting these, especially because I don't have to edit. Okay, bye.